guys, what's up? Hammer6 here, and today I'm going to bring you a quick guide, quick tips over Kalphite King. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you are these shields here. They're very helpful because they can help you during magic phase. Now, there's two types I have here, obviously the chaotics with the dungeoneering ones, and the spirit shields. The spirit shields are a little bit more helpful, but first the chaotic shields obviously do degrade, so make sure you have more than one item, or you have an extra spot to save it because you don't want it dropping on your ground and degrading. And now the other ones, the spirit shields, they don't degrade, but what is really good about them is they have a damage reduction. It also reduces your prayer points while it does it, but it affects all balls, the bleeds balls, the mage, the damage balls, and the blue balls, so that's very helpful there. And the only ones that do are the Ellie, the Arcane, and the Elijah. The Spectral does not do that. It's just a decent shield to bring if you don't want a degrading one as well. The other things are the two scrimshaws I have there, the Vampirism one, and there's an Elements one. Now, they're helpful just because they do extra damage or heal you. Now, that's helpful, obviously, but the Vampirism you can only use with melee, while the Elements is obviously a mage damage boost. They do degrade, so make sure you don't drop them on the ground as well. Now, as you can see, these two items that I have are superior, so obviously they last longer and they're untradeable, but there are tradable versions in the Grand Exchange that you can buy of these items. They're about 500 to 300k. And the next thing I have is all the auras which you equip. You can buy these from the loyalty store. I have the Vampirism, the Supreme Runic Accuracy, you can get any tier of that. And then I have the Penance and the Reverence one. You can also get any tier of that, but they're good. They heal you, or they give you prayer points when you take damage, or they just do extra damage for a specific class. So that's really good. Now, the other thing I have in here is my Spirit Cape. And now what this will do, when you have your healing familiars out, most specifically the Unicorn Stallion, because you'll be using its special move, if you equip it, you can do more special moves because it reduces the amount of the bar that is taken away when you use a special move. But you don't want to use this as your main cape. Make sure you bring up a backup cape not a backup cape, a main cape that you'll wear the whole time. Now, for healing familiars, the Bunyip is helpful, and so is the Unicorn. Now, I use these two mainly because you don't want to bring a yak or a tortoise full of food and potions and things you could potentially lose, because especially for new people at Kalphite King, you die quite a bit. So if you die and lose all that, it's going to be really bad. I don't like to do that, so I don't even bring one, a yak. So I'd suggest for new people to keep with these two. Now, the other thing I have here is an adrenaline flask, and this is very helpful to get your adrenaline up, not just for DPS people, but also for people that are going to use voking and tanking. So basically what you do is you'll be able to drink it, and then your adrenaline will go up 25%. So if you use a Metamorphosis or Berserk, and then you drink a 25%, you get 25% adrenaline, and you can just use a couple abilities and already be able to use threshold abilities like Assault and Asphyxiate, even though you can't use Asphyxiate in my specific FC. It is helpful in certain situations. Also over here, we have something that a lot of people don't use a lot. It's the Ring of Vigor. When you use an ultimate, it will save 10% of your adrenaline. It doesn't have a crit boost or anything, but you do get that 10% adrenaline, which allows you to build up to your thresholds a lot quicker and use more than one of them. So I use that a lot. Now over here I have two things, the Sign of Life and the Sign of Item Protection. Now both of these are really specific items from Divination that they released. There are tradable and untradeable versions of these. The Sign of Life is 10k, the Sign of Item Protection is 4k. Now what the Sign of Life will do is if you die or get a killing hit from a mage ball or anything, die for any reason, it will restore 25% of your base life points, which is very nice because it's basically a free get back out of jail, get out of death card. Once it does save you, it destroys itself in the process, and you cannot use another one for 1 hour. So that's the downside to it. You can equip it, but it won't activate again. So that's where the next thing comes in handy. If, say, you have 5 items that you want to take to Kalphite King, you can only protect 4 of those with the Item Protect prayer. So you take your tattoo, full tattoo, helm, bottoms, and top, and your 2 Drygors. You're going to drop one of those if you die. If you equip the item Sign of Item Protection, that'll allow you to keep 4 items in your inventory, which will basically 5 items, so you won't drop any of those. When you do die, it will destroy itself, So make sure you grab another one from your bank before you come back to KK, and if your Sign of Life still hasn't deactivated, to equip another one of those. Okay, so that's all for the basic stuff to take to KK and use at KK. I'm going to go over a couple things that you can do before you go to KK. Okay, so here we're in Edgeville, and what I'd recommend for when you respawn, so you respawn in a good area before you teleport to the bandit camp and go to KK, is to teleport to Edgeville. That way when you respawn, you're going to respawn in Edgeville, and you respawn right out here over to the right, so you can basically just run right into the bank, get what you need, and be able to go back. That's really simple to do, and it's a lot easier than running to the bank. Now the second thing here is the maple logs that I have in my inventory. Now what this does is it gives you a fire making, it gives you a health boost, and it will give you a specific health boost, a percentage of your life points depending on your fire making level. From 90 to 99, it's 5%, and then the type of log is the duration of how long your your health boost will last. As you can see there, I got 5%, and the maple logs make it last 36 minutes. If you use magic logs, they'll last 60 minutes for 1 hour. So that's a nice lineup with your penance aura, and any aura basically lasts for 1 hour. So that's what I'd suggest doing. Okay, so on to the next part with actual KK footage. Okay guys, so here I have a few clips of mage phases. I'm invoking, but that's not a big deal. The first thing you'll want to do is throw on that shield, and the abilities you're going to want to use are going to be highlighted in red circles. They're called Reflect, Reconnaissance, Preparation, and Barricade, as well as Freedom and Anticipation. You can also use the Debilitate, but it's not as effective. Okay, so this is the actual kill. It's about to go to mage phase, and when it does, what you want to do is you're going to want to hit the freedom button, because he stuns you right away. I may not be doing this in the video because it's not perfect, especially mage phase is kind of whatever you want to do. I'm heal evoking actually, so I'm like healing a bunch of people. But basically, what you're going to want to do is do one attack, run away from wherever the balls are, and attack them again. One attack, run. One attack, run. You don't want to use assault or anything like that, but for the abilities for the shield, what you're going to want to do, the resonance one will heal the blue balls, and it will heal a regular damage ball. It won't heal a bleed ball. If you have it active, when a bleed ball hits you, it goes away. Now right here, you see, I'm waiting for him to use blue ball. So I used it, and it hit me for 1. You see, I got hit for 1 damage. Now what that was I was at full HP, so it couldn't heal me. So instead, it hit me for 1 damage instead of hitting me for like 1,000 damage or something. Now, as you can see here, I'm bleeding now, so I used the Reflect one. And as you can see, all that Reflect damage going back to me, it has a little blue arrow with it. That's from me using that ability. So that's what that kill was specifically, the 2 things. Now you can go back and look at it. And this will be another kill here. I just used my evoking. And so right now, I already have my resonance. What I try to do is I try to spam my Reflect ability. And what I failed at doing first was hitting the freedom button. So as you can see there, I get spammed by a bunch of balls. Now, as you can see, a lot of people, if you look around, will get hit a lot harder. And this is because I have my spirit shield on. I'm not even praying mage, and I get hit a lot less. Now, you can do the lazy thing and just stay out of the way, but I don't like to do that. The barricade ability, I don't think you'll see me. Well, I did use it at the beginning of that first clip. Basically what it does is it negates all damage for 10 seconds. So if you have an ultimate ability, it is very good to use, but on the other hand, it drains all your adrenaline, so you can't use your Reflect ability. The Anticipation ability will be, sorry, it's about the same as the Freedom, but what it does is it will not let you get stunned. So when KK starts running, you see him run, usually right after he runs, he will send out a blue ball. So he digs, he runs, and then he'll send out a blue ball. So after he runs, I usually use Resonance, or I'll wait till the blue ball, till he stuns me and use Freedom, and then I'll use either the Reflect one to do damage to him. Well, it reflects half the damage back to him, and you take half the damage less, or I'll use the Resonance to heal the ball. So here, you're going to see me. So he just ran. So I'm waiting. I didn't do anything. Now, it didn't hit me. It usually hits anyone in melee armor, or even mage armor, because you don't have a high magic. Don't have a high magic defense. Well, I'm in Pernix right now, so it's obviously not going to hit me that hard. Now I use the Reflect there. Now what the preparation does is for every attack you do to the KK back and forth, it will recharge the resonance faster. It will recharge its recharge rate, its refresh rate, I guess you want to call it. So right after you use resonance, you're going to want to use that preparation. That way it gets it resonanced right back. So here you're going to see it send out a bunch of balls, and I'm going to go ahead and use the reflect. Now no balls actually hit me, so it didn't reflect any damage back, but you see that 510, it would have been a 1,200, and it reflected damage right back there. You can see at the KK. So that was helpful for that, and there I did a perfect heal off the blue balls because he just ran, so I used the resonance right away. And as you can see here, I'm not using preparation right away. I should have already clicked preparation, but instead I'm attacking KK because it's not that crucial to hit, but it is helpful if you want to stay alive. Using the anticipation button, after you start getting bled by a bleed ball, he sends the bleed balls out right after he sends out his blue balls. So if you get hit by one of those, use the anticipation button. It will cut the damage by 10%. So say you're bleeding for usually between 100 to 200 damage, it'll cut it by usually 30 to 50 damage. So over the whole bleed, you save about 300 to 500 health. Now that might not seem helpful for one attack, but if you think how many times you would use that during one trip, it adds up really quickly to multiple sharks. So definitely use it. It's maybe not that much. As you can see, I used it right there. So it's very helpful. And this kill's about done. Well, the mage phases at least. You don't want to be attacking him when he's healing. It's just a horrible thing. And you see I'll use reflect again, but it's not going to do anything because he changes phases. So here's the next mage phase I have. And I think this will be the last one I showed because I covered everything in those first two clips. So here I used barricade, so it's going to negate all the damage. And what I do is I heal Vogue, so I'm going to heal people. But that's something you don't want to worry about. Either get out of the way and move away from KK or start attacking him because you have basically, you have all the damage reflected and doing no damage for 10 seconds. So you can use a threshold ability that you normally wouldn't use or such things as that. Now you see here, I have to drink a lot of prayer potions because I do have that spirit shield on. Make sure your prayer is out high or has a decent bar chunk left of it, because if it's at like 10, or I'm sorry, if it's at like 100 and you get hit with like 3 mage balls, it'll wipe out your prayer completely. So if you're praying mage, obviously it'll wipe that out. But what's the bad thing is you'll start taking normal damage from the balls, and the spirit shield basically won't function as it should, and why you have it on and bought it in the first case. So make sure your prayer stays up with that. Now here's where the spirit cape would come in handy. I'd switch over it before I started using my scrolls like you just saw I did for the unicorn. Okay guys, so that's about it. That wraps up about everything. So here comes another mage phase. You see I just used the freedom and I didn't get my resonance because it's on cooldown. I could use reflect, but I didn't use that. They're all about the same. It's just being able to time it and know when he's going to do certain moves. In our FC, in my FC, we allow stunning, so that does make KK kind of mess up with when he sends out his blue balls a little bit, but it also helps turn him off mage phase as quick as possible. So it's kind of a luck thing to an extent, but it's also more of a, I've KK'd this many times, so I know roughly when he's going to do this. I remember I need to hit this ability then and such. So if you guys have any more other ideas, quick tips, or are questioning something, just feel free to send me a PM in game. Come in the chat, ask me there, that's fine. Ask me in the YouTube comments, whatever. Like, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It did take a little bit longer to make the video, but I really enjoyed starting to do this. So see you guys later. Bye.